Because if I don't get out of this lower class, then I have to concern myself with $28 lunches like Kevin O'Leary was talking about. Apparently, you guys need to stop spending money when you make $70K a year on $28 lunches, which I agree with. You shouldn't spend that every day. But the $28 lunch is like a little bit of pleasure you get to have during the day, and you're told that you should give that up so that you can invest that $28. Again, not always a bad idea. You should to some extent. But you're going to invest your $28 into an index fund, probably in your 401k, at all-time highs in the market, by the way. Before the older generation, the boomers, a lot of them are going to have to liquidate their portfolios in order to cover retirement and medical expenses and things like that. And now, SpaceX, it's going to be automatically put in as a major component of the S&P 500. The financials of that company are out. And the valuation is absurd. And it's not actually making money, profit. It's not profitable. So the insiders who own the stock, they can sell off as much as they want to into the market. And all of that selling will be absorbed because your index fund has to allocate a certain amount of your $28 that you didn't spend on lunch into that company. So some percentage of that money is going to go into SpaceX, and it's just going to gobble up all of those shares that they want to get rid of. So you, by foregoing lunch, get to become a bag holder. All these companies that have been pumped up that are now included into the index, guess what? Your money is buying those shares at all-time highs. Hey, maybe in 50 years, you'll get to enjoy some of that capital accumulation. Now, you can't forecast what the world is going to look like in any way, shape, or form in 50 years, or 5 years for that matter, other than it'll probably be some technological oppressive hellscape where you're surveilled all the time and you have very limited options in terms of movement or jobs, if there are jobs, which there probably will be, but you never know. Maybe the techno-utopia comes to pass. But either way, what are your SpaceX shares going to be worth? Maybe it turns profitable at some point. What of all these S&P 500 companies that get moved in and out of the index? Are any of them going to really accrue value to you? Is the index going to outpace inflation? Trading at an all-time high, is it going to go even further? Now, I know the government can't let the market fall. They need the tax revenue. The tax receipts from investments is the only thing keeping this fucking thing afloat, folks. But what is it going to look like for you, younger person? Do you want the $28 lunch, or do you want the mystery box? The mystery box of 50 years of compounding. What do you think your lifestyle is going to look like, huh? You think it's going to be peak America? You think you're going to be ever enjoying a life like Hugh Hefner? Enjoying the pinnacle of luxury in 1960s and 1970s, having all the women, all the luxury before technology really destroyed everything. You got the technology right when it's getting better, but not quite to the point where it destroys your magazine empire. So you get to accrue all this money because pornography is not digitally available yet. And you still have the alibi that people are reading it for the articles. But then later, is your magazine going to get wiped out? All these hoes going to spit on your name? Flying around in your Black Bunny DC-9 jet with all the women just letting you bang them because they want to be in your magazine? You're never going to get that. You are never going to experience that. Your $28 and your $1.50 or whatever that's put into SpaceX stock is never going to set you free. I'm sorry. This guy, Mr. O'Leary, is constructing the data center, the big one in Utah. It might be a good thing. It might be a bad thing. It's probably a mixed bag. But if what comes to pass from that building of data centers like that, then your job, your money, isn't really going to have much value, is it? Not that you should invest, but you probably should enjoy a lunch now and again. It sounds nihilistic, but it's really what Postman was pointing out in Technopoly, that society in Technopoly isn't just one with lots of machines. It's a society where our culture has surrendered its authority to that technology. So traditional sources of judgments, whether it's education, your local community, your religion, moral philosophy, politics, political deliberation, all of those things lose power and lose standing. And the question no longer is this good? Is this good for us? Or what kind of person does this produce? This technological revolution, this implementation, this free-for-all with new technology. The question becomes whether or not it's efficient. Just like whether or not it's efficient for you to enjoy a $28 lunch when you make $70,000 a year. It's not efficient, so it's bad. It doesn't fit within the spreadsheet of your life. Your lunch is an inefficient use of that capital. Eating is inefficient, so you should stop doing that, period, not just spending on lunch. Could this money be compounding instead? Think of how much your money could compound if you ate canned beans with manwich sauce every day. That's probably what can of beans runs like. If you don't have a can opener, if you don't have a fancy can opener, you need a pop top, you really want to spend money. That's 86 cents or so, the store brand manwich sauce, maybe $1, $2, brother. You can drink both of them. You can smush the beans down and drink it with some manwich sauce. Think of how much your money would compound, the other $25, $26 you saved. Don't listen to all these cultural critics, these people who don't understand finance. When they ask, hey, what life is worth living if every single pleasure you have has to be justified as an investment decision? Who cares, bro? You need to save money so you can eventually, when you're 55, maybe have a house,